Okay, well, I guess I'm just so lost in thought because everybody has said something that I think is really true. Danielle, talking about policy, made me think back that, you know, as I sometimes know about what families are getting now, I look back and think I got a lot more help. That, you know, and it's funding and it's resources and it's things like that, and being involved is what's going to count. And Dave's saying that, you know, it's not perfect, but it's better. That's true. I mean, and things are just going to get better, I think. I know. And supports, you know, when you say that, Josh, I know that in my time with Chelsea, coming forward, growing up, being born in the late 80s, I didn't have that much access to so many of these things now that are good. I mean, they were just kind of coming along then, where you could talk to lots of families or go online and read. But what was the support for me, and still is, and I think is for all, is people. And I mean, I can just go back to the start when Chelsea was little, and yes, then it was called the Early Childhood Program. These people were, they're precious. I mean, they came, it was awkward, we made friends, they came all the time, they helped me, they taught our family. Then it comes along, we happen to have a couple more children, and so siblings. Chelsea learned almost all of what she knows, I think, came from modeling other people. Modeling her siblings, watching, learning. You know, she comes home today and she'll have a new word. She'll say, you know, because the job coach is teasing her at work and saying, you know, that's spectacular. And, you know, she has a struggle with her speech, but I know what she's saying. So she's learning new words, and it's people. It's always people. And when we went into kindergarten and first grade at that time, Chelsea, there wasn't a school inclusion. It was just starting. Everything kind of just started. And I feel so fortunate because early childhood was right before Chelsea, having funding for that, and like when you're born, getting therapies and services. And then when we got into the school system, it was just sort of coming along to think about inclusion, and I had to appeal to our school district to have Chelsea go to the same school as her older sister, because I just couldn't stand the thought of her going off separately to a contained school. And so I had to work at that and sort of pushed through. They said, we have no one here who really can deal with or teach children with cognitive disability. That's what it was then. And I said, I'll work with you if you work with me. And it's always been teaming. And it isn't that everything's always been perfect, but it's been more good than bad, for sure. And it's the people. It's always the people. The therapists, the speech and language therapists, OTs who work with Chelsea, who taught us things, the teachers, the special ed aides. I mean, Chelsea, there's a teacher, Lorene, in this auditorium, I think, Chelsea left school in 2007, and she's working now. Lorene still calls up on a Saturday and says, Chelsea, we're going out, we're going to go bowling, and we're going to get something to eat. She drives around and picks up 4 other young adults, and I think, wow, how can she, oh good, I'm home alone, and she does this, and it's always people. And right now, Chelsea sits next to a colleague of mine who works here, and who's a friend, and it's the same with my supervisor and the people I work with. They are friends to Chelsea, and that's my support. It always is people. And I learned so much from them, actually, of how to be a better parent, how to be a better friend to Chelsea, and things aren't always just wonderful, but when I look at it overall, I just feel really grateful, and I feel grateful to work here. I feel really grateful to work here because the mission is, it's really personally important to me, and people really care to make the quality of life better for everyone, and that's what it's about. So that's for sure easy for me. Support is people.
Great, thank you. Wow, what a wonderful capstone to the day. You've helped us really focus on children in the context of their families and families in the context of community. And I love the sort of historical perspective you've given and the way that you've talked about a constant has been really families connecting with other families and helping and support each other, whether you're doing it through local networks or blogs and the internet. That seems to be something that's really made a difference over the years. We do have time for a couple of the questions that you sent in. And actually, before we do that, let me invite you, if there was something that you heard somebody else say that made you think of something that you didn't get a chance to share, so maybe just a chance if you have any closing comments, things you forgot to say, or something you didn't hear anybody else talk about. Any final comments? And looks like Doris?
I thought that everyone had the same theme. Try real hard to find someone that is compatible or has sensitivity towards another. I brought along my friend Kathy. Kathy is a very pleasant lady who has a great sensitivity for the disabled people. And you're going to find, as time goes on, you're going to have to drop one because there's not a sensitivity there, or you find somebody who's happy and who's pleasantly surprised and interested in the child or the person. The biggest problem I ever had and the worst decision I ever had to make was to give up my daughter to go into a group home. It was the worst thing that I could ever do. But do it when she's ready or he's ready. Do it when you are still able to find out if that group home or if that living is good for that child or that your child. Be sure that you are able to supervise it day after day and week after week. And if you don't like it, pull them. Get someplace else.
I forgot.
I'm done.
Okay. I just forgot to mention that I actually used to do research here at the Weissman Center when I was 3. Len Avadillo, he used to be here. I've done research since last summer here, and so I will do this for his honor since he's in California now. But I just want to thank Len for letting me do research here. And I'm trying to get the families to get their kids involved for the Weissman Center and for Special Olympics. So with me being on the board of directors, I really want all the parents. I just want to point out that when it comes to parents, they do what they have to, because my mom went through this with me because she had to fight for it, and my mom is a real fighter. She's a survivor. And that's good for my mom, yes.
We have to